Nobody can take glory for anything that he becomes in life. Nobody. Because that your intellectual property came from a place connected to God. You might not have a relationship with God directly, but the facility, the infrastructure with which you built whatever you said you built, that infrastructure was given to you by God himself. Your wisdom, your brain, you didn't just happen. Something happened to you to happen. And what happened to you was God. Everyone who says there's no God, they know that there's God, because they are aware that there's a void somewhere. There's a point you will get to, you will know that this is not me doing this thing. There's something that is outsourced. There's something. This cannot be credited to how well read or well versed I am. That's why I have issues if we hear on the pulpit that you don't need God to prosper, you don't need God to do this and that. You see, we need God for everything. Within the context of the believer, we need God for everything. I will never get to a point where I credit anything in my life to myself. The credit must go to God. Always. See, that was the problem in Deuteronomy chapter 8. Now look at this. This is a rhetorical question. Who fed thee in the wilderness with manna, which thy fathers knew not, that he might humble thee, and that he might prove thee to do thee good at thy later end? The next verse. And thou say in thy heart, my power and the might of my hand had gotten me this wealth. Say you are wrong. The next verse. But thou shalt remember the Lord thy God, that it is he. Someone say it is he. It is he that giveth thee power. He may not give you wealth, but he will give you power to get wealth. What produced the wealth? He gave you. If you say it was intellect, he gave you. If you say it's because you are a workaholic, yes, he gave you the strength to work. If you say, well, it's a biological process to give birth, well, he gave you the capacity. Because now we are hearing that it is not God that gives children. God doesn't. That is a biological process. But have you had record of people who are barren? Well, the barrenness is a product of not having intercourse. And so how come biologically they were unable to give birth, but miraculously God showed up and they gave birth? Even if you say that it was IVF you did, it was God who gave you the grace. Children are God's heritage. The fruit of the womb is his reward. Say, I'm God's heritage. Say, God gave me to my parents. It's not because your father has skill. No matter the skillfulness of your parents, that's not what produced you. What produces, because God knows in his heart that there's a Karounwi that he will shoot to the nations that must come out through that family. So he gave me. I don't know where they received you. Maybe from the altar of Ifa. But as far as I'm concerned, I was downloaded from heaven.